Hey guys, this is Jitesh here in conversation with Omar Hamwi. He is the what I can say head of business development for US and Canada, and looks after the project Dash. So we are really excited to have you on this call with MintingM, Omar.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to meet you all.
Okay, you're welcome. So, let us try to have a conversation, try to know your project in a detailed way. And to start with that, just try to explain us, about your crypto journey and also a brief about the project Dash.
Absolutely. So I started my career, my background, I guess, in my previous lives, as they call it, was in the World Bank. I started off with the bank advisory services, credit bureau departments, where we, mainly worked with private and public sectors to implement, best practices within, the financial sector all over the world. Then from there went into management consulting, did my stint on Wall Street, and then one thing led to another. And I was in Dubai working at a fintech company when I first heard about Bitcoin. And I was very intrigued. I looked into it. Coincidentally, as I was getting interested in cryptocurrency, I had a reach out from a company called Dash Core Group, and one thing led to another, and I was very much sold on Dash, and instantly basically switched my career, moved back to the US, and the rest is history. This is probably around 2018, and the second part of your question was about what is Dash, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, which actually this response leads perfectly into it. So why did I pick Dash and why did I go there? Dash is, as I was researching Dash as well as other cryptocurrencies. Now, mind you, this is in 2018, so much smaller industry. So I didn't have to learn about DeFi and NFTs at the time. But back then I was reading about Dash and its innovation, and it had solved a lot of problems that Bitcoin, I guess, or limitations that Bitcoin had. For example, like the speed of settlements and transactions and things like that. With Dash, everything was instant. It is related to Bitcoin, but seems to have kind of built on top of it and kind of addressed a lot of the issues to make Dash be, or inefficiencies rather, to make Dash be a step closer to Satoshi's vision. So it is a form of payment. It can be used and bought and sold, and you can buy your services and goods and groceries and whatnot from just about anywhere in the world. In the US right now, I'm sure we'll get into this, but I need to say it. We have Dash Direct, which just launched, which now puts us in 165,000 or 155,000 plus stores in the US. And these are pretty major chains, and now you can spend Dash there. So, in addition to that, Dash has a unique governance structure. We were one of the first to implement the DAO model. We were one of the first to do the instant settlements and transactions and many other things. Our governance is well regarded. And so for all those reasons, I said, okay, so this project has a future. It has a good one. I want to be on the ground level of, I guess, this may sound cheesy, but, kind of the Google of the 90s, internet, bubble, I guess, in hindsight. But now, crypto industry. So, that's basically why I'm here.
Yeah, that's interesting. So we do a lot of research, at MintingM, and there are many insights that we got after this interaction. New things that about Dash, like 165,000 stores right now are using Dash in the US, and also for our audience or viewers benefit, that it's a performance optimization of Bitcoin, wherein it processes transaction way too faster than what Bitcoin does. And happy to see that there's so much of adoption for Dash. So just to continue on this slides, I just want to know, what are the growth forecasts for Dash and the future plans?
Well, I guess I probably shouldn't talk financially, but like what I think. But I think as far as Dash and its network growth and its transaction growth, We have been growing exponentially so far as like usage and payments. And then as far as investments as well, we see a shift towards more and more interest around Dash. And I think this is really largely stemming from a lot of the releases we've been coming out. We've been talking about a few things for years now, like Dash platform would be a good example. But while we were developing or are developing Dash platform, we released Chainlocks, which has made Dash the first 51% attack-proof cryptocurrency, and today remains the largest one that is attack-proof. And then we have started working on actually very soon, maybe by tomorrow, there will be another integration that's going to be released with our wallet. I can't say more than that, but and then in addition to that, we have Dash Direct, like you mentioned, and then we have several other large projects. And I think generally what we're seeing is kind of a shift from not just in the crypto industry, but Dash as well. Our partners have grown, we have grown, and now the levels of integrations and use cases and real world usage ecosystems that we've been creating has drastically increased. So I see the growth to be much better. I'm pretty optimistic about Dash's future. We can see today, or actually the last few weeks, we've seen a few nice spikes in the price, implying there's been a pretty decent demand for Dash specifically. More recently, probably the overall market, but it's still been kind to us as well. So I do think with some of these major launches coming out in maybe this year or early next year, the largest one being platform, I do see our growth and the ability to work with Dash, right? Because platform, just a tangent, just for a second, platform is going to open up a whole bunch of new features that didn't exist before, right? And we are not an ERC20 or ERC fork, right? And so there are certain limitations traditionally for these type of cryptocurrencies. But with platform, these limitations are going to be, or rather the compatibility, or how do you say, comparisons between the two are going to become less and less. So a lot of the things that you're going to be able to do with an ERC, you're going to be able to do with Dash, for example. So you'll be able to also put data on the blockchain. You'll be able to track supply chain management on the blockchain. You'll be able to build applications, create your own coins. It's pretty versatile. So I think we're in a good place. We keep our heads down. Mainly we're not very good at hyping, I'd say, but that's good. We mean what we say, and we deliver. So I see the growth being very well.
Amazing. So Dash Direct that you just launched, so is it a consumer facing app or something that is being used by the merchants?
It is a consumer facing app mainly. It is available right now on both Android and iOS. Oh, nice. The way it works is that you're able to, you download it, it's connected to your wallet. Once you acquire your Dash, you have, it works kind of like a debit card almost. Like you preload it with a bunch of Dash, you go to the store, and let's say you're going to, I don't know, I guess here, a big department store would be like Walmart. You go to Walmart, I'm not saying Walmart's covered in this app, but I'm just using it as an example of a big store. But you can go there, and then a QR code, they give you the checkout, like this is how much you have to pay for all your goods. And then you're able to then, scan your QR code, it'll debit it, auto converts into fiat. And so the merchant doesn't have to deal with crypto in this case, right? So the user wants to spend their Dash, they can spend it, and the merchant doesn't want to accept cryptocurrency. We're just not there yet as a world yet. And so they're able to receive, fiat. And this model can be replicated in multiple different, markets. But yeah, definitely consumer.
Interesting. So just a question that suppose if I have some other crypto apart from a Dash, and if I want to spend at a merchant, so will that be possible to do through a Dash Direct, or I need to have Dash crypto that can be converted from crypto to fiat, or not any crypto to fiat is possible, or just Dash to fiat is possible?
Well, on the application itself, it's only Dash to fiat, right? Mm-hmm. But like the user doesn't have to worry about that. They just acquire the Dash and they spend it. And then the merchant doesn't have to worry about the crypto either. So all of this happens automatically on the back end. And then as far as like other cryptocurrencies, you know, we are exploring some, I don't know how much I can say, but there is something that'll be released soon that will allow you to, you know, that will expand the options as far as, you know, usage on cryptocurrencies, but not with Dash Direct, but with another application of ours that will allow you to tie it in somehow to be able to use it that way. But Dash will still be the main feature. I mean, essentially, you know, the most it'll get is like a swap feature where you can swap it to Dash and then you go through your process. It is probably a little bit of a extra step for people though.
Interesting. So basically, you know, crypto that one can spend, you know, so if you hold Dash, probably you can go out there at 165K merchants and, you know, just spend your Dash and, you know, buy anything that you want by converting it to Fiat. That is amazing use case and, you know, taking crypto to mainstream. That's really interesting.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah,
it absolutely has been. We've been getting a lot of, I'd say, I've had people I haven't spoken with in years reach out to me and say, hey, I just used this Dash Direct thing. I heard you worked for Dash. So this is really cool. Yeah. It was really easy to use. So definitely has been, you know, sparking my social network.
Amazing. Yeah. Now this makes me ask you a next follow-up question that how does Dash plan to coexist with Bitcoin? I understand that Bitcoin's transactions are not that great, but just wanted to want to know your view on this.
Yeah, so I don't see Bitcoin going anywhere. I think Bitcoin is a you know, it's a part of our history or collective history in crypto industry. It's well regarded. It is quite incredible if you look at it, you know, from where it just kind of came from as an idea and as a functioning idea and birthed this whole industry. So we don't necessarily think that, you know, Bitcoin is going to go anywhere or stay or what have you. I mean, there are going to be thousands of coins. You know, eventually the market cycles will start to, you know, continue to weed a lot of the projects out, and then, you know, you'll have the kind of the stronger ones that stay or more mature ones, and then eventually, I see us getting to a point where, you know, we continue working, we continue our integrations. You know, we generally do. I would say a very light competition. It's not. We don't have the view of like a more of a tribalistic view. Our kind of ethos is that what's good for Bitcoin, what's good for Ethereum moves the industry forward and moves Dash forward, right? The opportunities that Dash has today exists because of Bitcoin, and I mean even recently, right? Like with getting adopted by PayPal and, you know, whatnot. So it's opened a lot of doors. It's brought in institutional investors, and that's been good for the whole industry. So I see that, you know, we will continue to coexist. I think one project's accomplishments are generally good for the whole industry. Like Dash Direct, I think as well, goes the other way. So now, you know, you're probably going to see something like that for Bitcoin or for BCH, or, you know what I mean? So I kind of see a good symbiotic relationship with between the projects.
Yeah. So as part of the financial system, you know, we see a lot of banks, PayPal. When it comes to India, you know, we have Google Pay, Paytm, all of them existing because it's such a huge industry. So likewise, you know, we can have Bitcoin, Dash, and multiple other competitors like what Dash is doing, you know, coexisting and catering to this space as it, you know, makes our life really easy by, you know, transacting in crypto and, you know, getting out of that hassle of, you know, credit card, debit cards, and just carrying your crypto and, you know, converting it to fiat and just, here you go, shop anytime you want. That's really amazing.
You hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. I mean, basically, the easier this becomes to use, the more people will use it because it has clear advantages outside of, you know, using credit cards like it is. That's what I think is the biggest, you know, friction is that credit cards have no friction, you know, in the US or in India, right? You're able to just kind of tap it and walk away. But with crypto, you still got to like go and figure out how to buy it, things like that. And I think there's still some work to be done to get to that point. But I think that's the trajectory, and that's where everyone's been going. I totally agree.
Yeah, rightly said. Yeah. So I just wanted to know your view, like when we talk about projects, the ecosystem. So can you tell us more about the tokenomics, how it is designed for Dash ecosystem to grow in a very healthy way?
Yeah, of course. So we began I'd say up until August 2020. Dash Tokenomics worked with we have three different parties. Let's say with Bitcoin, you have the miners, and with every block reward, the block reward is just goes directly to the miners, 100% of it. With Dash, up until August 2020, we did 45% to the miners, 45% to the masternode owners, and then 10% to the treasury. But basically between the masternodes and miners, and it's about 50-50. And the masternodes, for context, they're another layer within Dash, and they perform certain services on behalf of the network, such as processing the instant send that you were mentioning at the beginning of the discussion. That allows you to be able to transact instantly, zero confirmation, basically transactions, and the 51% attack proof happening at the same time. So they do things like that, as well as vote on treasury proposals. So and for those services, 45% was allocated to them. Now, the way it works, in August 2020, there was a proposal submitted to change those tokenomics into 40% and 60% between the masternodes and the miners, instead of the 50-50. So the masternodes would be receiving 60%, while the miners would be receiving 40%. And what this will do is it will solve some, overall tokenomics, I'd say not ceilings, but it's not slowed. It will allow us to grow faster. Let's put it that way. And so with every it's not going to be a sudden shift, or wasn't a sudden shift. Every single 3 super blocks now, which are on average about 3 months, the percentage changes towards that direction. So the miners will drop from 50 to like 48%, for example, in the first go, while the masternodes go to like 51%. So about 1 to 2% shift every 3 months. So this should take about like another 5 or 6 years, but that's how the tokenomics works. And then the treasury for us, Dash Core Group, who I work for, we get a certain percentage of that treasury, which pays for the salaries and so on. And then other DAO organizations that have had proposals passed, which we also have to submit proposals, by the way, will also get funded from that treasury. So it is a critical part of our governance system as well, and our growth.
Okay, that's interesting. And with whatever exposure I have towards the tokenomics, the Dash tokenomics has fixed supply of tokens, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Yeah, I think it's 18 million.
Yeah. Yes. So it has got fixed supply of tokens, no inflation, just like probably. I cannot say no inflation, but fixed supply, just like what Bitcoin has, and there will be no more Dash tokens that will be minted, and this is the ecosystem. If we get a lot of demand, probably the Dash will be more and more and more in demand, as the tokenomics is designed with a win-win-win-win model. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tokenomics also looks interesting now regarding the Dash Direct that you recently launched. So just wanted to know, for example, in numbers, if we had a growth of say 20% or 30% CAGR for say last 2 or 3 years from when Dash started, with introduction of Dash Direct, what is that extra leg of growth that we are expecting on top of the current growth that we see in Dash?
In terms of
in numbers, if you can, in terms of network growth or probably transaction, so that we know that previously we were growing with 20-25% CAGR for last 3 years, but with introduction of Dash, it will be pushed by another 5%, and we grow by 30% speed. Just numbers, if you can possibly. If not, that's completely fine.
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure we have numbers for that. So,
Okay.
but I do know that I think it'll ultimately depend on how much Dash Direct is used. But it is very easy to use. However, it is limited in the US, right? So we're growing it. We're screaming this on top of the rooftops, and trying to get as many people to use it. And I think because to your point about the tokenomics of Dash with the master nodes, they have to become a master node, you have to lock a certain amount of Dash to basically to let people know, to let the system know that you have skin in the game. I think it's the you won't make rash decisions. More important. Yeah, it's kind of staking, exactly. And then from there, you have a circulating supply, right? So a good chunk of the Dash coins are currently locked in with masternodes, and so you have still a decent amount of a supply of Dash, but it's still limited or still growing enough where you can, if we suddenly got a lot of users to use Dash Direct and then transactions picked up significantly, you could see quite a rapid spike, right? So it's just been launched, so we don't know what the growth rate yet is of Dash Direct itself. It's still in the first month, so I think by the end of the month we should have a better idea of like the usage, some stats that we can make some assumptions and build a kind of a rough forecast out of. So we'll keep in touch. I'll let you know.
I understand. Okay, so numbers are yet to come. It's just 1 month, and probably we'll need to monitor, track, and keep on improvising. Yes, I understand. So we are there in the US. So any plans of other countries that you want to get into? Any plans that you have?
Yeah, actually, so we are global. Dashcore Group is also very decentralized. So we have people all over the world, and then we have the DAO organizations, which are our community members that have founded organizations that work on marketing, business development, and specific issues to their regions or countries. But they're on the ground, and they're working very hard to grow Dash within those countries. And so as a result, we have Dash organizations all over the globe that I work with as well, quite closely to work on certain projects or to solve certain problems. Now, we as Dash Core Group also are very active in Venezuela. We have been for maybe about a year or two, or no, more like 2 or 3. And as a result, Dash is one of the most used cryptocurrencies in the country. We recently as well launched in Haiti, where there was no cryptocurrency market. And so we had one of the DAO organizations on the ground. We partnered with them, partnered with an exchange, and we launched in Haiti. So we are looking constantly at countries where the solution, which is Dash, can fit the greatest need. So our hypothesis is where there's friction, because like you were saying, credit cards are so ubiquitous and easy to use, where there is friction and where there is a use case, a real world use case that we can concentrate on in that country or region, that's where we grow. So, for example, in hyperinflation, you can look at, or inflationary markets, you can look at Turkey, you can look at a few others, of course. And then you have as well, we're looking at building a profile, essentially, of what the person who would use Dash would entail. Like basically, what is the population of the country, how educated, how technologically savvy, do they have a smartphone, blah, 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 right? So you use all this data to put together a hypothesis as to where the market is that we should go next. And so this is always happening pretty frequently. So right now, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but we are going to be moving into a country very soon as well, and expanding there and working to solve some problems. But it could be one of 3. So,
okay, amazing, good.
But the India market has been interesting for us. I've been watching it and partnering with several organizations there for several years now through Dash, and keeping our finger on the pulse to see when a good time is to grow in India. And I think we're getting very close, and there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of need as well. Like there's a lot of ways cryptocurrency can solve many problems in India, and so we're ready to go as soon as you're ready to have us.
Okay, so planning to enter India, but not at entered India.
At the moment, we're
you guys
keeping a very close eye on it.
Yeah, you guys trade on all the top exchanges that we have in India, like WazirX, CoinDCX, and others. Dash is trading there, but in terms of the merchant adoptions, I don't think so you have entered yet India. But glad to know that you're looking at India as an opportunity. India is like one of the biggest population out there in the world, and if it happens in India, so it's going to spread like wildfire.
Absolutely. Yeah, we should definitely talk.
Yeah. So, I personally, I was so curious and so excited to talk to you guys and to know Dash, in a better way, in a detailed way. Why? Because we ourselves, MintingM as a fund, a lot of our clients are invested through us. And also we have a token listed on WazirX by the name XMINT, and we have an exposure almost 10 to 15% of allocation towards Dash. So really excited with what you guys are doing, and we wish that you grow by multifolds and capture more and more market, like spread all over the world, and hopefully we'll catch up 1 or 2 quarters down the line to track the progress of Dash Direct. How is it doing? So with this, I would like to ask you if you have any closing comments for this discussion. You can please go ahead with that, and probably we can conclude this call.
All right. So I think as far as my closing comments, thank you for having me. I told you this before the interview, but I'll mention it here for everyone. I was very excited to see you guys when we got in touch. I love what you're doing, and I love the market that you're in and working in. And it is my personal goal to get Dash into India and to grow in the country. In the meantime, obviously we'll talk, but like for all of you out there, in the meantime, as keep your eye on Dash. We're going to be coming out with a lot of new things, a lot of new exciting releases, developments. We always are. And so I'll send you Chitesh some resources as well. Maybe you can post it if you have time. But
yeah, probably we can circulate those updates or developments that we get from you. Within our community, we have a closed community of 4,000 subscribers on Telegram, and for their benefit, we are trying to get potential projects like what Dash is, so that they get exposed, they get exposure towards this project and get to know it in a better way, try to understand what problem it is solving, what kind of opportunity it offers. Like, it is just $1 billion project. It's just getting started, tapping a opportunity size of $2 trillion. So 100, 500, 1000x opportunity in front of a project like Dash. Exciting team doing amazing things. Dash Direct is one of the things that has just happened, and probably much more things to come from here. So we are really excited, and we'll be in touch.
Very well put. Thank you. Much better than I did.
Yeah, sure. So